Alright guys, welcome back. Alright, so this is the Zaccaria Pack 2 review. So again, we're going to go over the ground rules. So for all these packs I'm going to go through, I'm going to play maybe 1 or 2 balls. Probably not going to play any full games unless they're really quick. But I want to give you guys a feel for the tables. And then I'll do a rating for each table. And then at the end we'll go back and we'll do a rating for the entire pack as a whole. Again, these are available for 4K and for HD. So while they look pretty much the same, the only real differences are going to be the sound effects kit for the 4K and the up-resed resolution, obviously. So let's get started. We're going to start with Fire Mountain, a 1980s solid-state game, and we'll go from there.
Fire Mountain.
Up the volume a little bit so you can actually hear the table. It's very important for a lot of these. Alright, Fire Mountain. First of all, you look at the table. I really like the layout. You got some really nice orbits on either side. It's kind of reminiscent of Time Machine, which we'll actually cover at a later point. You got some drop targets on either side. Nice little drop target in the middle, and let's play. All the slingshots and drop targets sound really crisp. Really kicking. Love the sound effects on all these titles. And spinners. This one spins right into a capture hole. So that one has a kind of a way it counts the drop targets as it goes through the drop capture targets. It's a little different. And these flippers are actually turned down just a little bit, so they're flat with the table instead of being just a little higher. So it's a little different feel when they leave the flippers. But beautiful lighting, really fits its theme really well. No music, but really good sound effects. Gotta love that. There you go. So you have like a right and a left bonus, which is kind of interesting in this one. So you have things kind of concurrently going at all times, which is kind of cool. All right, so if I had to rate this one, I think I would rate this an 8. It's kind of fun. It's got some stuff going on for it. It's got some really cool dynamics. Really like the look of the table. And anyway, I think it's got some good scoring potential here. It's a lot of fun. And yeah. So that's it. That is Fire Mountain. Next up. Next up is going to be Fire Mountain 2019. Or I'm sorry. Yeah, 2019. This is the remake of the 1980 Solid State.
Fire Mountain remake.
Just a little bit here. Sorry about that, guys. Make sure you can see the bulk of the back glass. This back glass has nothing going on. It's just a picture. Some of them are more interactive, but I wanted to show the back glass on all of these so you could actually see them. Alright, so this one, obviously, kick-in and music. You have more modern features. You have modes. So you have some modes here. How you get into those, we won't get into it for every single one, but you're basically trying to knock out letters for blast. Only 3 flippers, which is actually a plus. When you get into some of their older titles, some of them have 8, 9, 10 flippers at times. It can get a little busy. Really cool ramps and spinners and different things that, you know, how the gameplay flows. It's very different. Obviously, sound effects are really good. You can hear the ball rolling around the table. You have great dynamic lighting across the board, really on all these tables. These are in true 4K.
Start mode is.
So start mode is lit now, so we're going to try to capture the ball. And we want to try to throw it for this capture hole. It's really far over there. So, at any rate, there we go. So this is Fire Mountain. If I had to rate this one, I'd probably give this one a 7. And again, I'm giving these ratings against its peers. So of the remake games, I think I would give this one a 7. I think it's pretty fun, but it doesn't really set itself apart from some of the other ones. So I give this one a 7. It's pretty good. Certainly not terrible, and you can have a lot of fun with it. And I really like the graphics of it. Next up, Fire Mountain Retro. And just to be clear, I'm not rating retro titles versus deluxe tables or retro tables versus remake tables. I'm rating them against their peers. So all retro tables are going to be rated against other retro tables and all remake tables against other remake tables. So just so we're clear. Okay, so this one, they've got a really crazy layout. You got a bumper in the bottom, which is pretty cool. You got a couple of flippers. There's no out lanes except for the ones in the middle. So you really have to, you're going to be trying to defending that the best you can. But totally different look and feel. Sounds are very different. You got clings and clangs and things like that. And you only got 2 flippers. So you got 2 little tiny flippers. So you have to make do with what you got. Capture hole in the middle. And then you got a bumper. So nudging is always very important on these older titles because nudging is part of the game. Really couldn't do much with that one, but sound effects wise, I like the sound effects. All the retro titles have these kind of sound effects. There's nothing crazy about it. I do like the shadow effects of all these dynamic games. Or really all Magic Pixel games have this beautiful dynamic lighting that you see here. What I will say about this one is the capture hole really slows it down for me, and the lack of flipper. You know, I don't mind the flippers necessarily, but this one's I'm kind of torn on. I'd probably give this one maybe a 6. I actually like the idea of having the bumper in the middle. It adds a little bit of variety to it. And but this is the situation you get into. You really have to be nudging all the time, and it can be pretty tough. So that's what I would give it. Okay. Next up is Granada.
Granada.
So Granada, again, you have the scoring on the back glass, and then you also have scoring over here on the DMD, which is just super generic. But 2 main flippers, 4 out lanes. Actually, 2 out lanes, 2 in lanes. Sorry about that. Same rings and dings, very different gameplay. Lots of drop targets. The ball looks huge compared to some of the other titles, but it's actually pretty common for most Magic Pixel titles to have the really nice looking ball. You can really see how it rolls around the table. It has good reflections on it. All kinds of slingshots. These are actually slingshots here, and then drop targets up above. This one could seriously, you could seriously have some fun with, especially if you had played this back in the day. I think you would super enjoy this one. There's a whole lot of nostalgia here. I love the kind of the, what is it, Picasso type of graphics. They're kind of a little quirky and a little different. Pretty cool. I actually like this table quite a bit. Of these types of tables, I think this is one of the better ones. So I would maybe give this an 8. I think this is a pretty good table. Definitely like that one. There is actually going to be a deluxe version of that, which I'm really looking forward to see what they do with it. Hot Wheels from 1979. Now this is not Hot Wheels as in the die-cast cars. This is actually
Hot Wheels.
just what they named it, I guess. I'm not really sure what the history with this one, but it is not based on the actual cars. So, obviously you have this really crazy target in the middle is swinging back and forth, which is pretty different. There's all kinds of crazy bonuses through the top here. You have one main spinner, 3 bumpers up top, all kinds of different targets that are completely based on the bumpers, and some drop targets in the capture hole. Again, really punchy sound effects all around. Really can't fault the sound effects throughout all these games. It's really, really well done, honestly. Kind of a cool feature here, if you actually fall into these spots here, that actually captures the ball and then kicks it out. It's kind of interesting. Let's see if we can't get that to show. There we go. And fires it out. Kind of different, and that's what's nice. This one's pretty different, little quirky, which is a little cool. I like that. All in all, this table, I don't feel like there's not a lot of, I don't feel like you played as much as you want. I feel like this could have had a lot of potential, but for some reason I end up not liking this one as much. I would probably give this a 7. I do like the fact that you can hit over here and it rolls all the way around. I think that's pretty cool, but you really can't take that shot across to the left as I just do it. But it's a really tough shot. So anyway, I give this one a 7. Next up, Hot Wheels 2017.
Hot Wheels Remake.
Alright, so this one's much more dynamic. You do have modes in this one. Kind of crazy stuff going on. I love the plunges. It plunges 2 balls, and whatever wins actually gets to play. So that's kind of cool. You got kind of a interesting playfield down here where you got just different pit stops and in lanes and all kinds of crazy stuff on here. I think it's 4 flippers, if I recall. Actually 5 flippers. There's 2 here and 3 here. And you see here it's like a dual plunge, and then the winner gets played, which is kind of cool. There's a magnet feature, which you hear pretty prominently. Sound effects from the cars.
Super skill shot. Combo. Double combo.
Lots of combos on this one. That is something to think about.
Triple combo.
It's kind of a unique flow to it.
Combo.
You can kind of see the flow that I'm going through between the shots. Love the sound effects. So one thing I will say about this one is it does have a center post too, which is a little different. It has kind of a, I love the art style, first of all. It's kind of beautiful. I love this double plunge, it's pretty cool. I'm not sure why that right side ball is so much further behind, that's pretty funny. Is it gonna make me plunge it again? It is. So they both have to complete the race to be able to do it. I don't like the magnet features in this. It slows down the gameplay quite a bit for a game that's Hot Wheels, and it kind of upsets the flow, which I really like about this table. So, at any rate, I would give this table maybe a 6. It has a lot of potential. I will say this. I think in particular, kids will really like this table. I think it will appeal to them. The race car themes and the tire bumpers and things like that. I think it would really appeal to them. And it's a pretty simplistic table. So, it's a good start. Alright, next up, Hot Wheels Retro.
Hot Wheels Retro.
Okay, super simple table. You got some massive outlands, 2 flippers, which are actually flipped the other direction, which is super weird. This table's really strange, but let's try it. I'll show you what I mean. Right flipper, left flipper. And the ball has to go all the way around. And so, really strange again. This flipper is the right flipper, which you're used to flipping the left flipper to shoot that type of shot, but because it's on this side, it's a little strange, and so it kind of messes with your brain when you get used to playing pinball all the time. So this one's a little different. Really low scoring. And you got these little capture hole kick-outs, which again slow the gameplay down really far. I end up hitting both the flippers together to play the game just because it's so awkward to me. And you're never going to have multi-ball on this, so you don't have to worry about that. Or if you wanted that, you won't get it. So, a lot of bumpers. You're going to have to do plunges or nudges back and forth to be able to play this game. Oof. And I couldn't save that ball. So, that was an entire game. What do I rate this one? I rate this one a 3. It's really goofy. To me, it's not super playable. I just really... There's too much going on. You can't really make nice shots to get up to the top really well. It just doesn't really work well for me. It's one that I'm going to play maybe once or twice and never again. All right, House of Diamonds. I think House of Diamonds, I think playing cards. And that's what this is, but it also has kind of a night theme to it. So... kind of strange with the castle and stuff. So you have a deck of cards and you're kind of playing like that. You got some extra flippers up here and down below, so very different play field, very colorful. Back glass is what it is. Kind of strange, kind of different. Sound effects are really cool. I actually like the sound effects in this. Although, what is going on with those bumpers? I don't remember the bumpers sounding like that. The slingshots sound good. They sound really good. The bumpers do not sound right to me. There's like no sound associated with the bumpers, so that's a big no-no. There's a center spinner, which I like. I can add to some fun. Try to shoot right up the middle and get those big points going. Let's see if we can't do that. Love the spinner sound. Oh. Bumpers are clearly broken on this. There's something really strange about that. So, what would I rate this table? Well, it's kind of in its broken state, quite frankly. I would give this one a 3, I think. That is going to be so off-putting every time I play the game that it's going to be really hard to play. Even in its good state, I would maybe give this a 5. Like, there's not much going on here. It really disappoints me. There's something just not right with it. All right, we'll go to the next one. 3 is probably a little harsh, but at the rate, there's so many other good tables to play. Like, there's no sense in playing a table that feels broke or doesn't really pull you in because there's so much variety on these packs. There's certainly better tables to play. So this is House of Diamonds. What did we say? This was 2017, I think it was. Much more updated theme. Sound effects kick in. You got some music going on. There's our powerful bumpers again. That's good. It's got some nice ramps. You hear the cards being shuffled, which is very clean and crisp. Spinner sounds really, really good. Sound effects are all real good. The music doesn't seem to go up or down though, it can be kind of grating over time. I played this game quite a bit before at a Flipper Friends event, and it was okay. Alright, so all in all, I would give this one maybe a 7. This is a remake title. I feel like I don't know what else you could have done with it. The deluxe table actually does quite a bit with it, which is actually pretty cool. We'll be doing reviews on those eventually. There's some interesting stuff here. If I had to rate this one, I'd probably give this one a 6. Like, it's among its peers. There's a lot better remake tables than this for sure. And the art style on the back glass is just kind of terrible. Let's talk about it. So it's just bad. So okay, yeah, House of Diamonds 2017. All right, last up, House of Diamonds Retro.
House of Diamonds Retro.
All right, again, we have a super retro table. Again, really interesting, crazy layout. They really went nuts with these retro tables, trying to find different ways to play them and some strange elements to them, which is really interesting. 4 flippers, you don't have any outlanes, but you have 2 gaps, and every time you flip up a flipper, you actually create a gap underneath the flipper, so just be mindful of that. This is like an EM table, so you hear the sounds like it would basically be resetting the back glass is what it would be doing when you're hearing those sounds. Again, sound effects and lighting, all very, very good. Nothing to complain about there. Super strange to have that ball bounce all the way across, but that's what it does on this table, which is really strange. Ugh. And you see, actually, I had this ball this flipper up, and the ball actually went through there. I've only scored 250 points, which is super low scoring table. Most of the retro tables are. Oh, couldn't save that with a nudge. This is kind of cruel. Like, anything up here goes down the center lane and goes right straight down the middle, and you either have to nudge it one way or the other to get it to the center post. It's not a straight. I mean, it's a straight shot, but there's a lot of good opportunities to get the ball out of there. But yeah, pretty strange title. Again, this is not one I'm going to play a lot. Some goofiness to it. Maybe it's got some appeal if you really like the retro titles, but that is just cruel, that center drain. So I would give this one a 3. All right, now if we're talking about the pack, let's talk about it. So realistically, Granada's quite good. Hot Wheels 2017's okay. I don't mind the Fire and Mountain games. I think the first 2 here, Fire Mountain 1 and Fire Mountain 2019, are pretty good. Aside from that, there's really not a lot of value here. For $25 on the HD and $35 on the 4K, the only ones I'm really, really wanting to play in this one are maybe Granada, which is an older title, so you have to like solid state games. The Fire Mountain and Fire Mountain 2019. Really, the rest of them I could do without. Even House of Diamonds 2017 is just not that great. I'm not a big fan of Hot Wheels 2017, although kids might really, really like that title. So all in all, I would give this pack, oh boy, I guess I give this pack about a 6. Like, it just doesn't appeal to me a lot. There's a couple good titles here. You know what, I would give this pack a 5. Realistically, for the price, it's really hard to justify, especially on a 4K, unless you just want all of them. To collect all the titles. This one you could really do without and not really feel like you're going to miss a whole lot. So that's my take. I would give this pack about a 5. So, all right. Thanks, guys, for watching, and I hope you'll stop by for the next one. See ya.
Retro Tech.